So Action Figure Insider, roving reporter, Captain Collector Steve Sergioli here with Brian Flynn.
That's me.
President and CEO, I believe, of Super7.
The titles vary, but yes, it's all the
Supreme
same.
Overlord.
Supreme Overlord
Yes.
works. That usually involves a little more genuflecting, but I'm okay.
Fair enough, fair enough. So we're here to talk about some of your Dungeons & Dragons items, some of your Ultimates items.
We've been busy this year.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. Speaking of Ultimates, I get the biggest question I get all the time: is there any update on the Cat's Lair?
Is there any? There are lots of updates on the Cat's Lair. The latest prototype just shipped out from the factory yesterday to us. So when it's ready for its close-up, we'll be sharing some pictures. But it's coming along really nicely.
Nice. No crazy hiccups so far. I know.
No, it's actually been good. So.
Nice.
Hopefully there won't be one.
Sometimes a piece, I don't want to jinx it. Sometimes a piece that big and complex, right?
It's been interesting. Sometimes the bigger pieces go easier, and sometimes it's like, yeah, of course, everything goes sideways. But
sure.
Yeah.
So Dungeons & Dragons wise, super excited about the Tiamat. I am going to go to the pop-up booth and see it.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I can't wait.
Yes,
I can't wait. Will they take my money on the spot?
I don't think anyone turns down money.
Sounds good to me. So are you going deep into the Ultimates with Dungeons & Dragons?
I think we've already sort of indicated, our propensity for how deep we want to get. I mean, the first wave we had Shadow Demons and Dekion. We didn't even have Venger.
Correct.
So we're already, before we even get started, you're like, there's still a lot of main characters to go, and they're already giving us these guys. How far are they going to go? And hopefully, really deep.
Now, like with the 3 3/4 inch line, could some of the classic property make it into the Ultimates line? Because I've been wanting a Mind Flayer action figure for a lot of years.
There's a lot we want to get to. There's a lot of iterations and a lot of worlds of D&D. Right now with Reaction, we've been focused mostly on the artwork and everything coming out of the books. When you do get to the pop-up later, you'll get to see 4 new Reaction prototypes for this line. So there's 4 more artwork figures coming. There are definitely a bunch of other things that we're working our way into. Hopefully it'll make you excited one of these days.
Sure it will. Speaking of excited, what's the one character from this property that gets you excited that you would want to do? What's the dream project?
From D&D?
Yes.
It was that one. Githyanki.
The Githyanki?
The Githyanki from the cover of the Fiend Folio.
Yes.
Not the Githyanki. The Githyanki from the cover of the Fiend Folio.
Yes.
And then on the back where he starts out clear and starts to fade in, you got to get there too.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that was a favorite of mine as a kid too.
That one, the Githyanki was number 1.
Yes.
The Freedy was number 2. And then it was like the Errol Otis Sorceress basic box set. His artwork and that glowing yellowy green light that he has in so much of that art is just, as a kid, it just melted my brain. It was so cool.
So speaking of Ultimates, I have to ask you, my first introduction to Super7 was being born and raised in San Francisco, and I still have a Super7 magazine, I believe.
Yes.
With Gotchaman on the cover.
Yes.
What's it going to take to get a set of Gotchaman Ultimates?
Somebody else has the license right now.
Okay.
So I can't do anything about that right now because somebody else has that license. But one of these days it would be great to do Gotchaman.
It hasn't been done justice yet.
No. And if you're going to do it, you got to do the 5. You've got to do, then you got to do Zoltar.
Yep.
You've got to do the Spectra Agent. You got to do Red Impulse.
Yep.
You got to do, I'm blanking on his name, the mustache.
Yeah, the Professor.
And then you have to do 7 Zark 7. You got to do 1 Rover 1.
Yep.
And then you can get into all the others.
Yes.
But 7 Zark 7 and 1 Rover 1 were only made in toys in France.
Yes.
So,
And I need a set with the bell bottoms and the numbered t-shirts.
Yeah, exactly. The big flares.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes, that's what we need.
The big curl in the hair.
You're the man for it.
Oh. Just Now you're just ruining me.
I'm
trying to sell people a Tiamat, and you're getting me misty about Gatchaman.
Well, you're getting my money, so if that helps.
Technically, we're talking about Battle of the Planets, though, not Gatchaman.
We are talking about Battle of the Planets, but I didn't want to offend you because I do have the magazine.
Well, Gatchaman's a little different.
It is.
Battle of the Planets.
I grew up on Battle of the Planets.
Yes, that's
indeed.
exactly
Yes,
it.
indeed. Wanted to move over here a little bit.
All right.
Ask, this to me, by the way, is my most exciting exclusive at the show.
Which one?
The Aurora Godzilla.
The Aurora Godzilla.
That was my first Godzilla toy as a kid. Right?
Well, and it's one of the first Godzilla toys domestically. You get into this argument of, are you going to count the Mysterians, ray gun as the first toy? I'm talking about American collectors.
Yes.
It's really that
was it.
Aurora kit.
That was it.
You can argue about the Marathon tins, you can argue about some of the other stuff, but
here on shelves in the States, that was it.
That is our first,
So, chance we get one in like magenta or with the glow-in-the-dark head, hands, and fins?
Well, if you remember, we did a 3 3/4 Shogun that was recolored to match the Aurora with the glow heads.
I have it.
So, there's always a possibility for all of it, but yes.
Yeah, this is inspired, by the way. This is the thing that gets me excited. Yes, it's wonderful. I would love to go buy a Groon and I forget her name. The girl, the invisible Sheila. Because I think they're wonderful ideas. But this to me is just so out of the box.
It's so much fun, isn't it?
It is so much fun.
And I want to see what happens when people start painting them.
Yeah, that means I have to get 2.
Yeah, well, I don't have a problem with that either.
I know you don't. No, you don't. Chance for Rodan and King Ghidorah to join him?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, this is one of those things to, almost even more than that kit, that box art is just so synonymous with Godzilla.
Right.
It's like every Godzilla collector, whether they've assembled the kit or not, has that box.
Oh, yeah.
Between that or the glow square box or whatever.
Ingrained in our memories.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, and most of us had 2 or 3 because Mom glued it together and then we played with it and broke it and had to get another one.
I didn't have her have one. I always wanted one. So, don't read into that because you can't have everything.
No.
But I'm glad to have it now.
Yes, no, it's absolutely wonderful. And the creature was such a surprise.
Yeah, the first of the super cycles. We got the creature here, and then we have the red Charlie Brown over at the Peanuts booth.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a throwback to the old, in the 60s you had the tin ones like the Nutty Mads and the Mark superheroes.
Yes.
But they only made a few domestically. But I've collected the Japanese tricycles from the 70s and 80s for 30 plus years now. I have about 100 of them.
Sure.
And it was always one of my dreams to get back and make these tricycles and make all stuff that didn't happen. So
and
I'm
I think
psyched on that.
Folks here know about it, but I don't think the American audience necessarily knows that this form factor in Japan is
pervasive.
It's been going on forever.
No one here really gets it, but you know what? That's not really been a problem. Like we put out, everybody is like, that is so cute, I love it.
Yes.
Which was the same thing that happened to me the first time I walked into Kimono, my house, and saw those tricycles. I was just like, I didn't know these existed.
I haven't seen Susan in years.
I was just in there, I went in there and I was like, I went in there to buy monster toys.
Sure.
And then I saw these tricycles. I was like, I ended up buying tricycles. I would have never guessed in a million years.
They're the coolest
thing ever. I've been collecting them ever since.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of, I think, form factors from Japan that people are discovering here.
Yeah.
And I hope that, I have to get one. It's absolutely adorable.
It is totes adorable, as the kids say.
Yes.
Totes adorbs.
Where would you like to go with these? Are we going to see a
have you seen the other tricycles on the other side?
No, I have not.
Oh,
Let's take
we can go over here.
We're on the move.
So, all right. So already we have the Creature tricycle available here at the Super7 booth. We have the red shirt Charlie Brown that's available at the Peanuts booth. And then coming up right now, we've got Mummy Boy on tricycles as well. So we've got the glow in the dark as well as the blue that's coming up.
So the odd question is, are the Japanese markets really taking a liking to these? Are they excited about it? Do you know? Or
I have no idea yet.
okay.
I mean, this is the first time anyone's even seen one in person. It's here.
True. True. I was just curious if you've gotten a reaction. I know that the old jumbo machine, the Mattel Shogun Warriors Rodan, is highly collected there because it was never available there.
Correct.
Yes.
Where with the Godzilla, they're like, I like the Popey better.
Who doesn't?
I like the American Shogun better.
I love it from my nostalgia factor, but the old jumbo Popesaurus is the one that I was like, man, I wish I had that as a kid.
Yeah, I can look at that and go, yes, it is technically more accurate, but there's so much charm in the Shogun one that, you know,
it's a piece of my childhood. I just, I never had the Popesaurus.
Even without that, it's just, there's something about that sculpt that is just magic.
It is. Yeah, I'm not lying. I own one.
Technically, and we all went, that's Godzilla, and it doesn't even have really spines.
Right.
You know, like,
but it was our Godzilla.
And it didn't even, it doesn't, I mean, all sets aside, it doesn't even really look like Godzilla. No. But it's
our
amazing.
Godzilla, right?
It's amazing.
Right. And of course, I bought the Mecha Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
And I ordered.
It's got to fight the Godzilla.
You have to go with my Rodan and my Godzilla, and I ordered the silver one because I got to have them both.
Did you see the silver one over there?
I did.
Yeah, it looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Those silver missiles too.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
And I mean, come on, think about that. The ZZ hand that they put on the Shogun with the missile firing was made for Mechagodzilla.
It was made for that.
Exactly.
Made for that.
How did that never happen?
How did it not happen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You made the Godzilla. Come on, make the robot. What do people want in Japan? They want robots.
Yes.
You didn't make the robot.
It was.
My voice can't get any higher than this.
It was tailor made for it. So the question is, now that you're kind of taking up the mantle with Mechagodzilla, what are the odds we might get some more Toho monsters in that?
I'm hoping that we get to them. We've designed one. Whether it gets to production or not will sort of depend on how well this one continues to do. But I'm really hoping we can make a couple more. There's a couple obvious ones that should happen.
Yes.
You're like, oh no, why isn't that guy?
Oh, I know exactly which ones you're thinking of.
Yeah.
I think I know exactly which ones.
We're doing a little bit.
Right. There are two that come to mind, but I back in the day, another company was going after this license, and I designed like 12 of them.
Oh, really?
And it's
an interesting thing because Shoguns appeal to in the American market, a very small group of people. Like, you had to have seen them when they came out and played with them.
Yeah.
Or otherwise it's just a weird looking thing.
It is.
That doesn't it's really expensive and doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So unfortunately it doesn't have sort of the runway that a lot of our other Toho stuff has in terms of volume. But man, if people were to buy in more, I'd make every single one of them.
Right.
Are you kidding? How awesome would Megalon be?
Megalon with the bomb launching spring loaded, right? King Ghidorah.
You make the King Ghidorah with like the Rokuron heads where you could launch the heads off?
Yes.
It'd be amazing.
I would kill for, only a body that big, but, the Spiga, like the size of a hula hoop with the, right?
Hey, you're getting, that one's going to be a tricky one to get to.
Right.
We haven't even made it there in reaction yet, but we might get there.
Gigan and Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar is just like
screaming to be made.
Screaming. I think that would be an accurate assessment of that one. Yeah, speed wrap up then.
Yeah, no, appreciate your time. It's always a highlight to come by your booth, and
Definitely.
Appreciate you making some time for us.
Of course, and we'll chat more over the weekend.
We'll be here.
All right, it's
Thank
great to see
you.
you.